relationship pattern that is universal for fearful avoidance is micro-testing the connection. How this shows up is unique to the fearful avoidant themselves because there's so much variability within this attachment style, and their behaviors within relationships are the most unpredictable of the attachment styles. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Rachel, a self-worth and relationship coach that specializes in attachment healing so that you can love yourself deeply and connect with others fully. I'm also a healing fearful avoidant, so this is in fact a sneak peek inside the FA mind. Across the board, fearful avoidants almost always grew up with caregivers that were inconsistent. They were the source of comfort and fear, which is really key because we learned that love is unpredictable, that I need to stay alert at all times. We ended up developing the necessity for scanning for danger, even in moments that feel good, because historically those moments didn't last or they came attached with something that was not so great afterwards, which means that our brains linked intimacy with danger. So micro-testing became a way for us to check for danger before it hits. And a very specific way that I used to do this in my relationship was around physical intimacy and being wanted by my partner. Now, hopefully we can all be grown-ups here. This might be a little TMI for some people. This is also a really good example, and I think a lot of fearful avoidance will relate to this, so I want to share it. So in my past relationship, when we were physically intimate, felt deeply connected and safe, and part of me that really wanted closeness was fully present and vulnerable. The second that it was over, I would just switch. I would just get up quickly, go back to cleaning the kitchen, acting very casual, aloof. I would literally act like I had just hooked up with some stranger from a bar, and we were in a long-term relationship and we lived together. And this was definitely not because I didn't want him or I didn't want to be in that moment, but that closeness became too much. I felt too exposed and too vulnerable. But later I would start getting anxious and I would feel quite guilty because I was so distant. And I would start thinking like, oh my gosh, like he probably thinks I'm not attracted to him. He's upset. Is he pulling away? He's gonna get so fed up with me. He's not gonna want to be with me. I would start teasing him, or I would walk in front of him with like a sexy outfit or just in my towel, act all flirty, set up moments where he would initiate or compliment me. And this was not a game, okay? I was not intentionally trying to manipulate him. I was unconsciously testing to make sure that we were still good. He still wanted me. He wasn't gonna leave me, that he was invested. Of course, I would do this without addressing the issue directly. This was a way that I used to bridge back into connection without risking too much exposure. Hopefully, if you're a fearful avoidant, I have given you the permission with my specific intimate example. I'm genuinely curious to see how these patterns have been showing up for you. If you feel safe enough to share, I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments.